Alright, so we're going to do page 3. And on page 3 says, at the 6th grade school dance, there are 132 boys, 89 girls, and 14 adults. A. So let me write that down. 132 boys, 89 girls, and 14 adults. Okay. Hey, write the ratio of number of boys to number of girls. Well, you're comparing number of boys to number of girls, so it's 132. And you can write it with a colon to 89. B, write the same ratio using another form. Well, another way of writing this is, as you know, division. And you can write using the word 2. So just 3 different ways of writing the same ratio. They all mean the same thing. Okay. And C, write the ratio of number of boys to number of adults. Well, let's just lower the screen a little bit. And you have number of boys, which is 132. And to the total number of adults, 14. Okay. And write the same ratio using number 4 is the letter D, 132 over 14, which you can simplify, but I'm not going to do this right now. Okay. I just want just a little review on what 3 ways of writing a ratio. Okay. 2. In the cafeteria, 100 milk cartons were put out for breakfast. At the end of breakfast, 27 remained. What's the ratio of milk cartons taken to the total milk cartons? Ratio of milk cartons. Well, there were 100 milk cartons taken to total milk cartons. I'm sorry. So 73 milk cartons were taken to the total of 100. Okay. And B, what's the ratio of milk cartons remaining? Well, remaining are 27 compared to the ones that were taken, which were 73. Okay. And finally, 3. Choose a situation that could be described by the following ratios and write a sentence to describe the ratio in the context of the situation you chose. For example, 3 to 2. When making paint, the art teacher uses the ratio 3 to 2. For every 3 cups of white paint she uses in the mixture, she needs 2 cups of red paint. Well, you know what? I'm not going to do all of them, but I'll do the first one, 1 to 2. So here, 1 to 2. You can make a simple ratio or simple statement. The ratio of boys to girls on a soccer team, okay, is 1 to 2. So for every boy, there are 2 girls in that particular soccer team. You can do the same thing for 29 to 30 and 52 to 12, but obviously be creative and create a situation with that. Okay, so that was page 3. So, alright, page 6. Using the floor tiles design shown below, create 4 different ratios related to the image. Describe the ratio relationship and write the ratio in the form A to B or the form A to B, A colon B or A to B. Alright, so you have, let's see, and this, everybody can have a different one. I'm going to say that there are 2 black squares for every white. So, okay, the ratio of black square to white squares, black square to white squares is 2 to 4. Another one that I can create is 2, and I'll actually write the word, 2 black ones, and to the total number of squares, and I know that there are 4 across, 16 total, so that's a part to total ratio. I can do the same thing for white. There are 4 white for every 16 total. And one more, I can reverse this. I can write 16 total to 4 white. So there are 4 ratios. Okay. Part to total, and total to part. Okay. Next one, on page 6, Billy wanted to drive a ratio of the number of cars to the number of trucks in the police parking lot. He wrote 1 to 3. Did he do it correctly? Well, ratio of cars, now write that down, cars to trucks. Let's see if he did it right. And he wrote 1, 2, 3. Well, no, he didn't, because there are 3 cars and 1 truck. So he actually did it backwards. Okay, so the correct one would be 3 to 1. Okay, remember, order does matter when doing ratios. Okay. Alright, so next one is page 8. So here we have a question. Mason and Lanny rent laps of train for the long distance running team. The ratio of number of laps Mason ran to the number of laps Laney ran was 2 to 3. So let me write Mason over here. So Mason and Lanny, 2 to 3. So every time Mason runs 2 laps, Lanny managed to run 3. Obviously, Lanny is the fastest person. So question 8, part A. If Lanny ran 4 miles, how far did Lanny run? Mason ran 4 miles. How far did Lanny run? Well, it's easier if you write this as a fraction, 2 to 3. And you write M for Mason and 3 for Lanny. And on the other side, you're going to create another. And here you're going to write, what happens if he runs 4 laps? How many will Lanny run? Well, that's your setup. Remember, proportion. Ooh. Well, you know what? Although I didn't read the question, so it says create a tape diagram. So I'll do a tape diagram in a second. But here, times 2 would give you 6 for Lanny. Okay, although it didn't ask you to do a proportion, it asked you for tape diagram. So let's do a tape diagram. So tape diagram, you write 2 for it. Mason is 2, Lanny is 3. Okay, so let's see if you remember how to do a tape diagram. So for Mason, you would draw 2 boxes, and for Lanny, you would draw 3 boxes. Okay, that's 1, 2, and Lanny 1, 2, 3. So there's your ratio, 2 to 3. Now, what happens if Mason runs 4 laps? So instead of being, you gotta make sure you put 4 here. So it makes this 2, makes that 2. Remember, with tape diagrams, once you find one number, you can find all the rest. So this would be a 2, a 2, a 2. So what happens when he runs 4? Lanny runs 6. Okay? Part B. If Lanny ran 930, how far did Mason run? Okay, again, 2 for Mason, 3 for Lanny, and we're going to create a tape diagram. Tape diagram means 2 boxes for this guy and 3 boxes for the other guy. 1, 2, 3. But here we want Lanny, so Lanny would like 930. So how do I fit 930 in these 3 boxes? 930 divided by 3 means that this is 310, 310, 310, which means the tops are 310. So when Lanny ran 930, Mason here ran 620. Very easy question. Okay, so, and following, what ratios can we say are equivalent to 2 over 3? Well, 2 to 3 is the ratio. You can write that equivalent. We just found 2 on the top, 620 to 930. These are equivalent. Okay, times 310 times 310. And another one that we found earlier was 4 and 6. 2/3 is also equal to 4 over 6. Okay, times 2 on top, times 2 at the bottom. Okay, next one, page 9. Josie took a long multiple choice end of year vocabulary test. The ratio of the number of problems Josie got incorrect to the number of problems she got correct is 2 to 9. So, let me write this down. The ratio that we're talking about, it's incorrect to correct. Okay, so every time she got 2 incorrect, she got 9 correct. So that's the ratio that we're given in this problem. Alright, so for A, if she missed 8 questions, how many did she get right? Well, draw a tape diagram. So let's draw a tape diagram. So incorrect, correct, and that's 2 and that's 9. So you need to draw a tape diagram. Remember, here's boxes. There's 1, 2. And actually, I made it too big. Okay, it's not going to fit on my screen. So we're going to make, there, that's 2. And we're going to something a little bit bigger to represent the 9 that she got correct. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, there is my ratio. And if I put 1, 1 in each box, you'll have 1 equation. Now, the question says she got 8 questions. She missed 8 questions. So, 8. How do I fit 8 in here? It would be 4 and 4, which means every box is 4, 4, 4, 4. So, if she got 8 incorrect, she would get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 times 4 is 36, which means she got 36 of them right. Let's do another one. And this one says, part B, what if she got 20? She got 20 questions. What if she missed 20 questions? Well, same thing. Okay, so, you know what? I'm going to erase this. Okay, no, I shouldn't have erased it. Let me go back, see if I, there we go. So, part B says, what happens when she missed 20 questions? Well, in this case, I'm trying to fit 20 in these two. So it would be 10 here, and guess what? It would be 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. So, there are 9 boxes, 9 times 10 equals 90. So she got 20 wrong, it means she got 90 right. What ratios can we say are equivalent to 2 to 9? Well, 2 to 9 is equivalent to the 2 we just found, 20 over 9. And it was also equivalent to the previous one, which was 4 over, sorry, not 4, 8 over 36. Okay? If you're going this way, times 4 times 4. If you're going this way, times 10 times 10. Okay? Like I said, a lot of pages, but really easy, simple work. Alright, so let's read this page 13. In the backs of mixed walnuts and cashews, the ratio of number of walnuts is, I'm going to write this down. What do we have? Walnuts. And we have cashews. Okay, it's 5 to 6. So every time you see 5 walnuts, you're going to see 6 cashews. Determine the number of walnuts that are in the bag if there are 54 cashews. So, and use a tape diagram. Okay, so they're really keen to tape out. You know what? I'm going to do a tape diagram and a proportion. So if I were to draw a proportion, I would draw something like this. 5 to 6. 5 walnuts, 6 cashews. And then this is supposed to be a C, by the way. On the other side, we're given that we have 54 cashews, so I'll write 54 on top. I'm sorry, bottom. Should going to be at bottom. Let me go back. Okay, so we want to write 54 cashews at the bottom. Remember, side to side, the bottom is cashews. The other side is also going to be cashews. So here, 6 times the particular number is 54, it's 9. And 5 times the particular number will give you the answer we're looking for, which is 45. So if you have 54 cashews, you're going to end up with 9 walnuts. Now, let's do this. And you can tell that they're proportional, okay? And equivalent. Okay, just created an equivalent fraction. Another way of doing this is, see, 5 walnuts, 6 cashews is drawing a tape diagram. So you're going to draw something that's 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'm going to erase that little piece at the back. Okay, that represents your 5. And we're going to create one that represents 6, so we're going to make it a little bigger. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so 5 to 6 is your initial ratio, but now they want to change that ratio to 54 cashews. So what happens when there's 54 in here? How would you fit 54 in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? Every box would have 9. 9, 9, 9, 9, and 9, which means the top would also have 9, 9, 9, 9, giving you a total of 45. Notice that we have the same answer that we got on this side. Okay? And that's it for that question on page 13. And we have one more on page 17. Okay, let me just get to that. And Sophia's bothering me, so I gotta stop this. Hang on a second. Alright, so we're doing last page, which is on page 17. Okay? It says the ratio of number of people who own a smartphone to the number of people who own a flip phone. A flip phone is one that look like a clam. It opens and closes. Okay, so and let's see how is this going to work. This one and 500 more people own a smartphone than a flip phone. How many people each type of phone? Alright. So, this one's a little tricky because you have smartphone. I'll just write smart. 4. So every time 4 people on a smartphone, you're going to find 3 people who own a flip. Okay, so that's your ratio that we have. Now we have to find an equivalent ratio where the difference is 500. So let me do something like this. This is smart, how many people own the smart, and this is how many people own the flip. Let's come up with an equivalent ratio. Let me multiply this by 100, and let me multiply the bottom by 100. And I will get 400 people owning smartphones over 300 people owning flip phones. Now, is the difference between this 500? Do I have a difference of 500 people? No, I don't. So, which means that that's not my answer. Let me take another shot at this. Let's make this times 200. I'm going to find another equivalent fraction. So what happens when I multiply top and bottom by 200? I get 800 people owning a smartphone and 600 people owning a smartphone. Is the difference between the number of owners 500? No, it's not. So this particular question, I'm going to have to play around until I find one particular ratio that has a difference of 500. Okay, so obviously 8 and 600 is not that won't give you a difference of 500. So you got to keep trying. So again, 4 people who have smartphones, 3 people who have flip phones. Let's see. Let's try 400. 416. But that would give me 1600. Let's try 500. Multiply top and bottom by 500. That would give me 2,000 people owning a smartphone, and at the bottom it would give me 1,500 people owning a flip phone. Is there a difference of 500? Yes, there is. So that's my ratio. So this is the ratio. So when 2,000 people own a smartphone, I have 1,500 people owning a flip phone, and guess what? The difference between the two of them is 500. Okay. And finally, I think the last question, number 2 at the bottom. Sammy and David were selling water bottles to raise money for the new football uniforms. Sammy sold, let's just write as we go along. Sammy sold 5 for every 3 that David sold. So the ratio of sales is 5 to 3. Together they sold 160 water bottles. How many did each boy sell? Well, you got choices here. Tons of choices. You can do a tape diagram. Okay. You can dot pictures. Okay, remember when we used to do pictures in circles? You can write Sammy, 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 Sammy. 5 water bottles. David, David, David. So, there's 8 balls in total here. You can draw another one until you get to 160. Actually, this might not be the best strategy. But, you can do a tape diagram. 5 for Sammy. 3 for David. Tape diagram will look something like this. This you would cut into 5 pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And 3 for David. Now, what you need to do is put 160, that's what's the total, sold in here completely. You have 8 boxes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. How would you put 160 evenly into 8 boxes? Well, each of them would get 20. 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 120, 140, 160. There. So if I had 160 bottles sold that day, Sammy over here sold 100 bottles, and David sold 60. Okay, if you want to double check your work to make sure that they are correct, you can find, as long as they're proportional to each other. Okay, so you have your original ratio, which was 5 to 3, 5 that Sammy sold and 3 that David. Let's see if that's proportional to 100 over 60. It's the answer that you could. Relationship times 20, also times 20. Yes, they're proportional to each other, and yes, this answer is correct. Okay, so yeah, not that many questions at all. That's about it. Email me, contact if you have any questions. Okay, and we're done for that.